Hello students, I am Rakesh Chauhan working as BGT Physics in Suraj School Bawal. I welcome you all in the e-learning classes of physics. Today we are going to discuss about a very important topic of chapter 4, that is moving coil galvanometer. So first we will discuss what is galvanometer. So you must have heard about galvanometer in class 10th also, that galvanometer is a device which is used to measure the current. But in 10th class you might have heard only about galvanometer and not about moving coil galvanometer. But here we are going to discuss it in detail, and how the galvanometer can be converted into ammeter and voltmeter also we will discuss in the next video. But here in this video we are going to discuss about what is the principle, what is the construction, and how the moving coil galvanometer actually works. So first we will define that what is galvanometer. So galvanometer can be defined as an instrument or measuring instrument with the help of which we can measure the direct current. So this means we can't measure the AC current with the help of galvanometer. To measure the AC current, we use some special type of galvanometer, which are hot wire galvanometer, etc., which are based on the principle of heating effect of current. So this you will discuss or you will study in your higher classes, but here we will study about the moving coil galvanometer. So why it is called as moving coil galvanometer? So since it is having a coil in its construction, and this coil is movable, as soon as we flow the current through this coil starts rotating or starts the motion. Therefore this galvanometer is known as moving coil galvanometer. Okay, now comes the principle of working of this galvanometer. So the principle of working of this galvanometer is that whenever a current carrying loop is placed in uniform magnetic field, it experiences a torque, which we have discussed in our last video. The torque on a rectangular loop, or we can say the torque on a current carrying loop placed in uniform magnetic field. So whenever a current carrying loop is placed in uniform magnetic field, it experiences a torque, and due to that torque the coil starts rotating. So that is the principle on which the moving coil galvanometer actually works. So you can write down the principle of moving coil galvanometer. Okay, next comes its construction. So far as construction of moving coil galvanometer is concerned, it consists of a coil which is wound on this metallic frame. So this is the metallic frame which is made of ferromagnetic material, and this is the coil, insulated coil in fact, whose two ends are one end and this second end. This second end is connected with hair spring. What is the function of hair spring? We will discuss it in its working. This is the hair spring which is connected to the second end of this coil, and this coil is wound on the metallic frame as shown in the figure. Okay, this whole arrangement is actually put in a horseshoe magnet, or the uniform magnetic field of produced by horseshoe magnet. So this is horseshoe magnet. So why we are using horseshoe magnet here is the reason behind using horseshoe magnet is because normally the horseshoe magnet produced a uniform and a strong magnetic field. So we want a strong magnetic field as well as uniform magnetic field. Therefore we are using such type of magnet, or which is known as horseshoe magnet. Okay, and one more thing I would like to tell you, that these north pole and south pole of this horseshoe magnet are cut cylindrically. These are in cylindrical shape. So why we are using such type of north pole and south pole? So the reason is to develop the radial magnetic field. What is radial magnetic field? The radial magnetic field at any point, if we see the direction of radial magnetic field, it is always 90-degree, you can say, at any point on this frame. So if theta becomes 90-degree, you know that torque becomes maximum, because the formula of torque is NIAB sine theta. So we want the torque maximize, therefore we use radial magnetic field here. And to produce radial magnetic field, we cut these north pole and south pole of this horseshoe magnet in semi-cylindrical form. So that is the reason why we are using such special shapes of these north pole and south pole. Okay, this is the pointer made of aluminium. So this is the pointer which can slide on this linear scale. This is the linear scale. Why we are using linear scale, we will discuss it also while we derive the formula, or while we will be discussing its working. So this is the linear scale on which this pointer can move from here to here, and at the center of this pointer there is 0 indicated, and the direction or the deflection in this galvanometer may be on either of the sides. So there is no we can say no matter the direction of current, the deflection will be in either side of the scale. So in ammeter, you must have seen the ammeter, that there is only in one direction, the deflection is only in the one direction, while in case of galvanometer the deflection may be on either side of this 0. Okay, so this is the construction point of this galvanometer, which consists of a coil which is made of a good conducting wire, which are insulated as well, and these wires are wound on the metallic frame to increase its magnetic field. And thereafter we have put this arrangement into this horseshoe magnet, or the magnetic field provided by this horseshoe magnet, and the center of this coil is fitted with a pointer made of aluminium, and this pointer slides down on this screen on this scale as we passes the current through this you can say coil. Okay, and this coil is mounted on two pivots, therefore it is also known as pivoted type galvanometer. Okay, so this is all about the construction of moving coil galvanometer. Now we are coming on to the working of this moving coil galvanometer. So far as working is concerned, as soon as we flow the current through this coil, and since this coil is being placed between or within the magnetic field provided by this horseshoe magnet, therefore it starts deflecting. And as the coil starts deflecting, these springs which are connected with this coil are twisted. And suppose the angle of deflection is theta, so we can say the torque produced in this spring, or the restoring torque produced in this spring by the twisting of this coil due to the torque which is produced by this current flowing through this coil, is suppose tau, and this torque I can write down it as restoring torque. Tau is directly proportional to theta. So theta is the angle of deflection, I can say, and tau is the restoring torque produced in this spring. So more will be the deflection, more will be the torque, I can say. So torque is equals to k theta, where k is a constant which is known as spring constant or torsional constant also. So suppose this is equation first. Now We also have discussed about the torque produced in a current carrying loop when it is placed in magnetic field, and the torque we have derived the formula is tau is equals to NIAB sine theta. And since we are using radial magnetic field, therefore the value of theta becomes 90 degree and the value of torque will be NIAB, and sine 90 becomes 1. So this theta is 90 degree for radial magnetic field, which we have discussed earlier. For radial magnetic field. Okay. Now this is also the expression of torque. This is also the expression of torque. So both the equations can be compared. So comparing equation first and second, what can be written? K theta is equals to NIAB, and from here if I want to write the expression for theta, it will be theta is equals to NIAB upon K, and here the N are the number of turns in the coil, I is the current flowing through the coil, A is the area of the loop, and B is the magnetic field produced by the horseshoe magnet, and K is the spring constant of this hair spring which is being used in this galvanometer. So these all terms are constant except current, because the value of current may be changed. So theta will be directly proportional to I can write down here theta is directly proportional to I. Why it is so? Because N is constant once a coil is selected. A area of the loop is also constant, magnetic field is also constant, and K the spring constant which depends upon a spring which is also constant. So theta is directly proportional to I. If I increase the value of I, then the deflection will also be increasing, and if deflection increases, then definitely the reading or the pointer will also be measuring greater value of, or will give greater readings. So this is the principle, or this is how this moving coil galvanometer measures the current flowing through its coil. And since theta is directly proportional to current, therefore we are using linear scale. And if the relation is not linear, suppose theta is directly proportional to I square, so we cannot use the linear scale, then we have to use non-linear scale. So that is why we are using here the linear scale, because the deflection produced in the coil is directly proportional to the current flowing through the coil. So this is the working of moving coil galvanometer. Now we are going to discuss two important terms of this moving coil galvanometer, which are the sensitivities of the moving coil galvanometer. So now we are going to discuss the sensitivity of MCG. So there are two types of sensitivity defined for MCG. First one is current sensitivity. Current sensitivity, which is denoted by SI. So how this current sensitivity can be defined? It is basically the deflection per unit current. Deflection per unit flow of current through the galvanometer. Deflection per unit current is known as current sensitivity for a MCG or moving coil galvanometer. So since we are having the formula theta is equals to NIAB upon K, which we have derived in the working, so this can be written as theta upon I. If I write this I beneath this theta, so it will become theta upon I NAB upon K, and according to the definition, deflection per unit current is known as current sensitivity. So this is the formula of current sensitivity, NAB upon K. And here you can see that the current sensitivity is inversely proportional to the spring constant. We will discuss it later. Now comes the second type of sensitivity, which is voltage sensitivity. Voltage sensitivity, and as the name suggests, it can be defined as deflection per unit voltage. Deflection per unit voltage applied across the coil of the galvanometer. So the formula becomes SV is equals to theta upon V. Same as we have discussed the current sensitivity SI as theta upon I. So here also SV is equal to theta upon V, and we can write down this V as I into R using Ohm's law. So it becomes, theta upon I becomes SI. So it is SI upon R. So this is the relation between voltage sensitivity and current sensitivity, and the formula can be written as NAB upon K. This is SI, and R is extra in the denominator, so it will become NAB upon KR. So these are the formulas through which we can calculate the value of current sensitivity and voltage sensitivity. Now one more question which is asked frequently is that how the sensitivity of a galvanometer can be increased. So the sensitivity of galvanometer depends on the number of turns, the area of the loop, the magnetic field, and the value of K, which is spring constant. So if we want to increase the current sensitivity, then definitely there are four options we are having. First option is to increase the number of turns. So to increase the number of turns, definitely the length of the wire will be increased, and it will be it will increase the cost of the galvanometer. Area of the loop also tends to the increased cost of the galvanometer, and magnetic field also cost effective, you can say, or increase the cost of the galvanometer. So what is left to increase the current sensitivity? So we can say by decreasing the value of this spring constant, or by using such type of springs which are having low value of spring constant, we can simply increase the current sensitivity, or in fact increase the voltage sensitivity also. So for better sensitivity of galvanometer, we normally uses the springs made of alloys which are having low value of spring constant, and the suitable alloys are quartz and phosphor bronze. So these are the two alloys which are having a very low value of spring constant, and therefore we can have a galvanometer of better sensitivity by simply using the springs or hair springs which we are using in this galvanometer, made up of quartz and phosphor bronze. So this question is sometimes asked in exam, that why we use quartz or phosphor bronze spring in MCG. So your answer will be to increase the sensitivity of galvanometer, or in other words, to increase the sensitivity of galvanometer, the better way is to use that such type of springs which are having less value of spring constant. So this is all about moving coil galvanometer. I hope this lecture would be beneficial and helpful for you in understanding the concept and construction and working of moving coil galvanometer. So thank you very much for watching this video, and if you haven't subscribed this channel, so please subscribe this channel and Also press the bell icon so that you can get the updates of latest videos uploaded on this channel. Thank you very much once again for watching this video.